So today on Is It Worth It, I've got the brand new Isuzu D-Max V-Cross. So we want to find out if it's worth it, but also if you can use the D-Max as an everyday car as well for the family, go camping, adventures. But I'm going to use it for a whole week. Isuzu have been very kind to me, give me the pressed model. But most importantly, we'd like to know what you think in the comments section below of the new Isuzu D-Max V-Cross. So let's get right to it. So Isuzu only specialise in commercial vehicles. That's why they call themselves the pickup professionals. The D-Max is the only model Isuzu make in the UK. So it's been around for 11 years. The Isuzu range is split into three categories. You've got the business, which is the more utilitarian single cab edition. Then you've got the all-purpose, which comes with a lock-in differential. And then you've got the adventure, which is the V-Cross. So what's different in this new look compared to the second generation? Well, it's 30mm higher and longer, and also the load bay is 30mm deeper. Impressively, it's actually overall 30mm shorter than the previous generation, but it still looks imposing with this double fang vertical grille, and you've got the Isuzu logo at the front. What does look quite piercing as well is these daytime running LEDs here. It does have a lot of presence on the road actually, but this is the V-Cross trim, the highest spec they do on the D-Max. You've still got the 1.9 diesel engine compared to the predecessor. So let's have a look at the side profile. I've got the double cabin added here. So it is 5-door or 4-door, and then obviously you've got the fold down load bay. Standard on the V-Cross, you'd get alloy wheels with Dunlop AT25 tyres, 5-star NCAP safety rating, which is more than any other truck on the road. You do get a side step as well, covered with a non-slip material, but the side step as well also stops it from getting stone chips, which is really handy. Also got some higher up mud guards here if you want to lower your window down but don't want mud getting in or rain. You've got your load bay here, which has a fold down step, which I'll show you in a second. You really can kind of kit this out really well. You can add your roof bars, you can also have load rails, extra tow. So let's check out the rear. This is your load bed here, and it's covered with this sort of plastic covering at the top. Got some double squared rear LEDs, and they look really nice actually. What's also good that they've included is a step here as well. You can actually climb in without having to open the load lip. It is a slow mechanism release on the actual rear. You've got your obviously wheel arches there at the side, the Isuzu badge in the back. You can obviously opt for the added load cover as well. I don't have that addition, but as you can imagine, it's literally exactly the same with a load cover on the top as well. This is a usable lip. You can actually sit on this as well, and you can also tow up to 3.5 tons and carry a ton of payload. Not only that, Isuzu do give a 125,000 mile warranty, 12-year warranty on the corrosion, so they really do look after you, and the reliability of the Isuzus are generally really good. So what's the D-Max V-Cross like inside? Well, first off, I love these big handles around the cabin. You've got two at the back as well to help you get in and out of the truck. So I like the sort of little features you get inside the cabin. I'll show you. You get this little pop-up cup holder here, and I've got one here for the driver, sort of storage cabinet there. You've got two glove compartments. You've even got a DVD player and a glove compartment down here as well. The dashboard feels really nice as well. It's like this firm leather with some white stitching as well. Materials though, it can feel a bit hard plastic here, kind of mix of this piano black plastic. I'm not really too keen on piano black, but they seem to have implemented quite well along the dash. You get these really comfortable black leather upholstered electric heated seats for reach adjustment, but also height as well. I love the driving visibility, really good, really high up as well. Nice leather upholstered steering wheel with a white stitching, and thankfully they've kept normal physical buttons to control your entertainment. The centerpiece though is of course the 9-inch touchscreen display that you get. You can have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard, which is really good. The graphics are a little outdated, however the screen potentially could be a little brighter, but it works rather well. It seems to cope with most things. You do get a 3-inch or 4-inch digital information cluster, and for your speedometer and rev count it's just a nice analog display which lights up really well. In the center console you've got dual climate control. I like how you've got these piano keys to use. You haven't got to use the touchscreen for the menus. You've got your 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive select dial there. In the middle, your gear selector, it's automatic, but you get this nice light up on the gear on the top, rear diff lock and your hill centre climb, as well as the reversing cameras. 12-volt socket here, USB port and a compartment to put your phone. It's not a charger, a wireless charging pad. Would have been nice if he added that. Got a manual handbrake, 2 large cup holders and a large storage bin in the middle. Speakers at the front, but also at the top here. You get 2 speakers just above the rear and passenger. The door bins can fit a large bottle in, but they are quite thin, probably to do with the shape of the door as well. The doors open up with this nice little firm release handle here. And the doors feel really well weighted. Nice sound when you close as well. Some lights here at the top. Huge vanity mirrors as well. Everything just seems to have a purpose and it works really well. But you can tell they've really thought about people using this as an everyday work vehicle. So what's the practicality like in the back? This is the double cab. You can get an extended cab as well, or a single cab. You've got that same sort of leather upholstered seats in the back. Seats are comfortable, but they're rather firm. You do feel you are pressed up against the back, but that's to do with the load bay where the cabin ends. Knee rooms, it's okay. If you've got long legs like me, you may be pushed up, especially if the driver's got long legs too. But headroom generally is fairly good. But if you're over 6'2", you might struggle a little bit. But adults may suffer a little bit in the middle with headroom and legroom. For long journeys, you've definitely not got any space here where the transmission tunnel is. You're going to have to put your legs either side. You do get ISOFIX seats and there's tether ports. You can fold these seats down as well to give you a bit more space, but why would you need it when you've got all that? An armrest as well. There's no ski hatch into the lower bay, but you get some really good sized cup holders. In the centre you've got your fan controls. Nothing really fancy, just a little roll wheel to select the position. Again, quite a deep door bin just for one bottle. You do get electric windows, and yes, they do go all the way down, which is great. So what's a D-Max V-Cross like to drive? Well, I'm going to take it on some different terrain. As you can see, it's snowing outside. Take it on some normal roads. I'm actually taking it up to Wales as well, so we'll really get a good feel of what it's like to drive. I've got the 6-speed automatic. You can get it in a manual. I'd probably say the automatic's just easier to operate. It is set to standard as a rear-wheel drive configuration on the powertrain, so you will set off in rear-wheel drive. You can also change it to 4-wheel drive, high and low. So a lot of people would be confused, well, what driving mode should I be in? Should I be in 2-wheel, 4-wheel? Essentially, the 2-wheel drive is for powering the rear wheels, and that's for normal everyday use, normal driving. The 4-wheel drive though is split into high and low range. The 4-wheel drive high is for sort of substantial terrain, snow for example, or you need just general off-roading. You can also implement the locking rear differential. If you do press the diff lock button though, it will actually lock the back wheels up. So what that means is the wheels at the rear will rotate at the same speed, giving a bit more traction. That's mainly meant to be used for gravel surfaces. You're not meant to use that on normal roads. And the reason for that is because it can actually damage the driveline and wreck the transmission as well. And then you've got the 4-wheel drive low range. It's like a completely new set of gears. It's very short geared, tiny gearing for maximum torque and traction. You can only really go up to 5 miles per hour in that. It's more for going uphill, and that really does give the maximum traction. On top of you being able to manually change from 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive, this car is feature packed with safety equipment, which is good. You've even got blind spot detection with the mirrors. They actually glow up yellow as well. Rear camera, so you can check what's coming. You've even got anti-collision as well. If you are too close to something in front, it will actually warn you with a red light as well. Collision sensors at the back and the front. You also get lane keep assist and cruise control. So it is rather well spec. So I'm going to take it on the highway now. Just pulling away at junctions, as you can hear, it's quite a loud engine and it revs quite loudly as well. You do have to really hit up to nearly 2,000 to 2,500 revs for it then to select the next gear. It's a little bit lackluster, the gear change. It's a little bit all over the place at times. But yeah, when you put your foot down though, it picks up in the sort of 30 to 50 mile range, but then really does rev high on the motorway. And then when you get it just about 70, I think you heard it then, the revs will drop because it's found the final gear. It's okay, but it's just not refined. But when you are at highway speeds, it does seem to cruise quite well. You can tell the suspension is set up on the D-Max, like with most pickup trucks or utility vehicles, for utility use, meaning it's not as smooth an experience as it could be without weight. So just with that added weight and the load bay would help the smoothness a little bit. But even without anything in there, I think overall the ride's quite good, to be fair. You get the obvious sort of wind noise around the wing mirrors, and also at the back it sometimes feels like one of your passengers has got the window open a little bit, but you do jostle a little at higher speeds. It's livable, it's absolutely fine. Quite enjoy it at times, part of the experience of driving a truck. It's a very efficient engine actually, it's 1.9 diesel. It's not amazingly powerful, but when you look at a pickup truck, you're not really after full power. It's more to do with the torque. The economy is really good as well. I mean, I was driving to Wales and I was getting roughly about 35 to 40, which I thought was quite impressive really for a truck this size. So what's the road clearance in this? It was quite impressive actually. It's 225 millimeters, which is a millimeter less than say like a Volkswagen Amarok. The actual rigidity in the chassis body control is really good actually, for a vehicle and a truck this size. They've actually stiffened and improved it since the last generation, but it's the same chassis on top of the body form. Again, if it works, don't fix it, and that's what Isuzu have done. The steering's rather light as well. I quite like that in the Isuzu. You'd think it'd be quite stiff and quite hard to turn with it being a pickup, but to be fair, it's quite nice and relaxing just to have something this big and for the steering to be so light. It's not unpleasantly light, flimsy or anything like that. It just seems just about right, where it doesn't seem overbearing to use it around town. There doesn't seem to be much understeer at all. It seems to be handled quite well. As you can imagine, you might just need to steer a little bit more with it being a bigger vehicle, but on the whole the chassis is quite well, and the body control on it is rather good. Not many people do this in the review, but I wanted to do a horn test. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. So let's wrap up this video review on the new D-Max V-Cross. And I really wanted to show that a pickup truck isn't just for trades and farmers alike. It just goes to show a pickup can really be a sound alternative to say your everyday Range Rover, Chelsea tractor, SUV. To be honest, cost a lot less, more reliable, cheaper servicing as well. They don't get stolen as much as a Range Rover. You get really good warranty with it. The safety equipment isn't just for agricultural purposes. It can tow 3.5 tons and even over a ton payload as well. Yes, okay, the engine growls, and also there may not be that much space in the back for long journeys. Is this giving you food for thought? Could you see yourself switching from an SUV to a pickup truck? Let us know in the comments section below what you think of the new D-Max V-Cross. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Stay tuned and look forward to seeing you on the next one on Is It Worth It?